Welcome back, Captain's Crew. This is part 2 of Diablo 4 Pro Tips, my reactions. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Here it is. All right, next tip.
Tide areas will have chests that you can open after farming the materials from killing monsters. These materials are these ones, the cinders, and at 75 you can actually open one of these chests, which will drop an item only based upon the chest you choose to open. For instance, this one here is chest armor. So if I had a chest armor piece I was really looking for, I'd open that one. But they're all around the map. You can see them. There's a weapon one over there, for instance. So if you're trying to target farm a specific item for a certain slot that you have that's just not very good and you want to replace it, consider farming in the Hell Tides. You'll also...
Pro tip. I actually did this yesterday. Like, consider farming in Hell Tides. You can also, like, if you're just looking to, like, fill your stash full of stuff, you can look for the gloves one. So I'm pretty sure gloves can be anything. But if you're looking for, like, specific things, you can go for a chest or helm, I think. Those are the two, like, common... I'm pretty sure those are the two common ones. So, like, for me, since I'm a Sork, I need that Radiment's chest or whatever the fuck it is. That when I teleport, I bring all the enemies closer. I'm pretty sure I got it once and I fucked up and sold it or deed it or whatever. But yeah, so that thing specifically. So I actually did some Helltide farming, and I also did some Tree of Whispers, and I was specifically looking for the chest, and I even went and used all my obols on nothing but chests because I wanted I need a chest piece. I'm specifically looking for a chest piece. Getting that chest piece will further me deep into the game quickly, so that's what I'm looking for. So that's a pro tip right there. Using Hell Tides and using the game strategically to get the item you want. Pro tip.
You need the Theme Rose material for enchanting, upgrading, etc. And for that reason, you're going to want to farm that from the Hell Tide, as they are very rare. While you're farming...
So if you are farming the Hell Tides early and trying to get the basic pieces of gear, like I was yesterday, for example, you're gonna have a whole lot of those like fiend things anyway. I would probably not use them until way later in the game. Like, you need to be tier 4 and like you have perfect items or near perfect items and you just want to make them perfect. Next pro tip.
In the open world, in a party, you can actually share experience, but the person that's near you needs to be about 3 or 4 screens at a maximum far away. Any farther away and they're not going to get experience. But actually in a dungeon, this is different, which is why the current meta strategy that everyone is employing in order to hit level 100 is everyone join a dungeon and farm separately in separate areas. But just keep in mind that if you're in town, you're not going to get experience or anything. If your buddy's farming in the overworld, you got to keep kind of near each other. Overworld.
Okay, so the first part of that was you got to stay close if you're in the overtime, like you're in the actual world to get experience. This is, I mean, I think that's pretty much a no-brainer. However, since the change mechanic, I think it's a good tip because there is a change of mechanic between the actual open world and the dungeon. So also I think that they have either 1, nerfed, or 2, fixed that. I do believe that was a patch that they did on Tuesday. This video I think is like 6 days old at this point, 6-7 days old, something like that. So they've already patched I think they've already patched that or nerfed it somehow. I'm pretty sure they have. All right, next pro tip.
World events is where you're going to get your drops for oboes. So if you're trying to do your gambos and you want these murmuring oboes, for instance, then you're going to get these from doing the actual overworld farming of the events, like I'm doing right here. Now the event has been...
Okay, so specifically yesterday, I did when I literally did those. Well, like all the pro tips that he's telling us, like I did yesterday. I showed you guys yesterday in like live streaming. I'm farming the chest. So anything and everything that I can do to get a chest item is what I'm going to do. So I was looking for the chests that say chest pieces in the Hell Tide, and I was also farming the oboes, and then went to the trader and bought a bunch of chests just to see if I could get one. Great tip.
Completed. There's a chest. I can open up the chest, and just like that, murmuring oboes. You can increase your max capacity of these oboes by doing the renown system, but overall you should be working towards completing your renown. Not only do you get 2 skill points
Facts.
per for a total of 10 more skill points, which are highly important, but you get Paragon points for when you complete each region.
Facts.
That's 20 Paragon points, which is the equivalent of 5 levels. So effectively, people at level 100, once they have these, will have the total Paragon points of level 105 if they've also done their renown. So it's very important.
Yes, I literally said that. I literally said that yesterday. If you got all of your statues of Lilith and then got all of your Paragon points, your statues of Lilith, I'm pretty sure you got 4 Paragon points at some point. I think I'm pretty sure it was 4. That's basically 1 level. Okay, so if you need to be level 70 to do that dungeon, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure you can do it at any time after 50. After you complete the first dungeon, you can go to the. We're talking about the open the tier dungeons or whatever. So. If you need to be level 70 or equivalent of level 70, you've gotten all of your statues of Lilith and you've done all of your Paragon, you're basically 6 levels above your actual level. Basically. So you really only need to be about 64. And your par, you should be at 64, you should be roughly par with like what the actual mobs in that dungeon are. So I'm pretty sure they're level 70 or 71. The bosses might be 73, but it's a level 70 dungeon by definition. So just keep that in mind. It's a pro tip.
In order to get renown, part of the things you need to do is dungeons. You can tell if you've done a dungeon already by the ones that have the chests. I mean, there's still an aspect that you can unlock from the dungeons. The Codex of Power aspects that you acquire are all permanent, meaning you can use them as many times as you want, but the stats on these always have a base stat of the lowest possible row of these stats. So these are always the least of these, but you can do them as many times as you want. You can also click on an aspect if you want to unlock it, and it will pin it on the map, meaning you can see the line exactly where it is in order. Look at that. It's up here all the way. So now I know if I wanted that one, I would have to come here in order to get that aspect. So if you're looking through in your theory crafting, you want to know where to get it, just click on the aspect and it will take you essentially right to it. Enchanting.
Okay, so with that said, you can basically have a full set of rare gear. And then apply all of your, you can go and farm all of the enchants that you need. You have no enchants on your gear, and you've got a full set of rare gear, and you're like level 50. And you literally can enchant your entire set of gear with all the best enchants. They're going to be the lowest quality, but they are going to be the best enchants for you. So don't get me wrong. You can't get the best enchants from just going to do a fucking dungeon. That's just not going to happen. Also, getting a perfect roll. If you get a perfect roll anything, I think you should consider just keeping. You should consider at least getting that aspect off and saving it for later. Like perfect rolls I've found are very rare, except for like 1 or 2 of the aspects that I found for Sork so far. Just another added pro tip there.
Team rares to reroll their stats. For instance, if I wanted to reroll the bear or the werewolf or the willpower, is significantly cheaper on rare items than it is on legendary items. So for this reason, if you don't want to spend it on the fiend roses, what you can do is you can actually farm rare items, re-roll it until you get exactly the stat you want. Then you can put your aspect on it to make it a legendary item. Each different tier of legend.
Okay, so let's interject right here. So keep in mind that if you just pick up a rare off the ground, you're gonna re-roll every single stat. The money like adds 50%. So even if it was only 1K, it goes to like 1.5K, and then if you're gonna have to re-roll this thing like 50 times, like. Eventually, it's going to be too expensive for you to reroll this piece of gear. So you really want to find like quality rares that have like 3. It has 5 stats on it, and it's got 3 or 4 stats that you want, and they are near perfect. You only have to reroll 1 stat. So pro tip.
Legendary costs a different amount to
wait. And then also, if you're going to attach a legendary aspect, reroll the stat on the rare piece of gear first. Then attach your imprint your aspect. Pro tip.
Extract. For instance, normal legendary, look at that, 71,000. Now if I go put a sacred in there, once 135. Now if I put an ancestral, once 430,000. So for this reason, I save all your normal legendaries because extracting it is actually cheaper than trying to extract the higher tier ones. So later on in the game, you can actually use these normal legendary aspects on even ancestral pieces. So this is a way to once again save resources. For instance, here's an ancestral, but here's a normal aspect. Look at that, we can actually imprint it and it only costs 66,000. Upgrading.
I'm pretty sure I kind of said that before. Not really, not in those exact words, but save them. Save your aspects.
Gear is super important. Not only is it going to increase your damage per second base stat on your weapon, but they also increase your secondary stats. So look at this, 4.7% damage increase for damage to close enemies, 3.5% on slowed, 4% on basic, 4% on stun. And you can see it costs 60,000 plus material salvaged from other items. So for this reason, upgrading is very important, but then at the last tier, you need the Helltide Forgotten Souls. This is just like the Theme Roses for enchanting. These are rarer resources and come from the Helltides, and that is required to go to the maximum tier of upgrades. For that reason, Helltides are even doubly as important. When it comes to salvage...
So yeah, so Helltides should I think in in-game, you're basically going to be rotating between world bosses, Helltides, and... like nightmare dungeons, because you can basically craft. So you have once you get all the gear that you need and you're just trying to get to max level and then you want to perfect your gear, like those are going to be the best places to get your stuff and to farm your whatever materials and stuff, like 100%. Helltides are going to be, I think we're going to see, I think a lot of people at max level are probably going to be running a lot of Helltides as soon as they come up on the map, and they're going to be there for the entire hour, and lots of chests are going to end up dropping stuff. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And let me know what you thought in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.